Did you know that more Americans are packing up and saying adios to the U.S. than ever before? Why? Because, you know what? They're just sick and tired of being sick and tired. I mean, actually, for so many of us, life in the U.S. is just not working anymore. And when you think of all the outrageously high cost of basic necessities like healthy foods, eggs, milk, and then you have your toxic work environments and all this political chaos, it's just all too much. So I just want to say this. If you've thought about leaving, trust me, you are not alone. So today what I wanted to do is just chat about why Americans are considering a one-way ticket out of here. Have you ever thought about trading an apple pie for a croissant? Or maybe swapping out your backyard barbecue for street tacos? Well, you're not alone, because right now, a lot of Americans are eyeing that exit sign. But why? And the reason should be kind of simple. It's actually pretty obvious to me. This whole political climate, it feels like a never-ending reality show, that's why. And not the fun kind either. Folks are making a mass exodus out of here. But what do you think is fueling this contemporary migration? Well, for starters, this political scene, it feels rockier than ever. I remember when politics was this boring thing that my uncle would drone on and on about at Thanksgiving. And all of us kids would be outside playing, and then we'd run inside to hear him still going on and on and on about it. And now it's like we're stuck in this never-ending reality show, and we're the unwilling participants, like in Survivor or Naked and Afraid. I actually looked up the stats on just how big the numbers are for folks that are moving out. And you know what it says? It says that 25% of Americans are contemplating international relocation. 53% of American millionaires said they were more likely to leave the U.S. after the election. That's this past election, folks. So people are already like, Pew. So, but why though? And also, where are they going? Because right now, if you look on social media, it looks like a trend. It really does. And this trend, it highlights a growing view among Americans that they're looking for better opportunities and stability away from the U.S. borders. So clearly, the rich and the non-rich, we're all feeling the same about what's happening right now. This exodus is their response to the current political and social landscape. Now, let's explore where they're going. Well, I know that one of the top destinations is Canada. At least that's what the research says. Canada, I can understand why, because the culture is similar to ours. You know, the language is the same. And one huge benefit is that you have universal health care. That's huge. And the political climate there is more stable. At least right now it is. Other people are moving to the United Kingdom. That's also similar to the American culture. The language is also the same. So, you know, people have options of where to go besides staying here. Also, when I did research, I found that the United Kingdom has a lot of opportunities that people are looking for, whether it be work or social, you know, so that's always a good option too. There are other places that people are looking at, Australia, New Zealand. Now those two places, you'll find really good quality of life and political stability. And that's the main reason why people are leaving the U.S. in the first place, because of the instability of the political arena here. And then, of course, you have the European nations like Portugal, Italy, and Spain. That's where I'm going. These are all popular, especially due to their, well, I'll say this. They're popular due to their investor visa programs. So what that is if you invest a certain amount in their country, they'll give you citizenship automatically. And from what I've just recently read, that Spain is planning on doing away with theirs in April. That's right around the corner, obviously. That's next month. So what I say to that is, get in while you can. I'm sure Spain originally had that to stimulate their own real estate economy. And, now with the influx of so many people, especially rich people from the UK and other areas, they're capitalizing on that. But it's also kind of to the detriment of the locals that live there, because now real estate prices are going up for them, but their economy is staying the same. So still, we have a whole world of opportunity to us, and get in when you can, and where you can. But also with Spain, you can really live out your eat, pray, love fantasies, and it's not too far away, so you won't have that jet lag issue as well. People have different motivations for leaving the U.S. Some are just completely dissatisfied with the domestic policies and all this political divisiveness. It truly feels like we're stuck in a never-ending family feud. I mean, did you see the other day the argument between Trump and Zelensky? I mean, Trump, it was planned. He said it was. He deliberately had it filmed live. But you know what? I can't be surprised. I know a lot of Americans were embarrassed. I wasn't surprised at all. He loves drama. He loves reality TV. And, he did what he enjoys doing. So, yeah, it caused some uproar. But that's part and parcel for what we have now, It just really feels like we're stuck at a dysfunctional family dinner that never ends. Where am I going? Oh. And then you have, in the U.S., your economic factors, like the rent being too damn high. They're building up all these luxury apartments with all these wonderful amenities. Indoor pool, outdoor pool, pet spas, all of this, you name it, they got it. But when you go inside, you may have one walk-in closet, and that's it. One closet. So that's the extent of your closet space. So if you're looking at one of those, be prepared to downsize your life and move around like a turtle with the shell on its back and keep everything inside there, because that's all you're going to get. But seriously, for one of those, and we're talking a studio apartment, for one, they want $3,000. $3,000? Honey, that's a mortgage payment and then some. Why? That's what I don't understand. If you have that type of money to put down every month for a studio, why not buy something, or why not invest your money where it's going to grow for you, and instead of just throwing it away in rent? That's too much money to be living in a box. That's all I can say about that. So anyway, to each his own. If you got it like that, you got it like that, right? And then, of course, one of the big issues we have in this country is student debt, which we already know is out of control. I do have some friends whose debt was done away with the student debt elimination program. So, one of them had $500,000 worth of debt. He's a doctor. So these people, I know they are thankful. I'll be really thankful once my student debt is out of the picture. I'm working on it, and it's actually, I think it'll be gone in less than a year. Yeah. And then we have healthcare. Healthcare expenses. Whoo, don't get me started. That's like playing roulette, except the house always wins and you're left footing the bill. I went to the doctor today. As soon as I walked in the door, excuse me, miss, you have a $75 copay. I'm like, can I sit down first? You know, I can't even show you, well, I can show you, but I don't have it with me right now, the pile of invoices I have from going to the doctor. I mean, it just keeps piling up, you know? And in other countries, like in Canada, you have universal health care where you're already paying into the system, so you're not paying extra. And then you have other countries where it's free. You go to the doctor, you might pay like $10, $20, and then you're getting a doctor who's patient, kind, and who's really going to get to the root of the issue and not just treat the symptoms. Can we get a doctor like that around here? Please? And not just keeping you going to referral after referral, doctor to doctor, so that everybody can get a piece of your insurance and then you just keep paying copay after copay. You know, for me, I just want a better work-life balance. I want to be able to spend my time with my family during the week after work when it's still daylight. I don't think that's too much to ask. I don't want to wait till the weekend when I have 2 days and then I'm too tired to do anything. You know, something interesting that I also looked up. I looked up the demographics of people leaving the U.S., as I told you, but like what the age groups were too. And I saw that younger Americans, like ages 16 to 24, are the most inclined to emigrate. And I understand why. Because young people are typically not tied down yet. They don't have families, they don't have kids. And you know what? They're willing to do something older adults are not ready to do. They're willing to have an adventure. They're willing to take a chance. Because they know that they can always come back. But as you get older, this like anxiety or fear, fear sets in. And it's not exactly fear, but it's like fear. That's what it feels like. But it keeps you stuck in your situation. And younger people are just not going to put up with that. You know, they're like, oh no, I'm out of here. I'm going to do something different. I'm going to go live my life. We need to be more like that. But, you know, let's take notes of how we were when we were kids. It's not too late. And guess what else I found out? You would think that wealthy individuals, because they can afford to still live here or live wherever the heck they want to, you know, they're living in luxury regardless. But guess what? According to the stats, those same high net worth Americans are actively seeking second passports or long-term residencies. So that ought to tell you something right there, that, you know, if they're going, why are we staying here? Isn't that something? So if you think that you need to stick out life here because you were born here in America, think again. But I will say this, before you start packing, remember, the grass isn't always greener moving abroad. I know that. And that's why I say, well, you know what? At least you've had an experience. You've done it. If it wasn't right for you, you can move back. But living abroad means experiencing a new culture, getting used to some, a new type of environment, maybe even a new language. You know, and also explaining to people outside the U.S. that not all Americans are like the ones you see on reality TV. Like all black men don't rap, and all white women aren't constantly having meltdowns. Plus, you know, becoming an expat, it's not as simple as booking a flight and saying, bonjour. You got to deal with visas, work permits, and figuring out how to watch your favorite shows without geo-blocking. It could be a lot, but it's worth it. It can be worth it. So millennials, Gen Zers, remote workers, they're all leaving. And if this resonates with you, you may want to consider whether moving abroad is right for you too. You might want to start weighing your options and weighing the benefits of it. And let me say this, if it's not for you, if moving abroad is not for you and you're very happy stuck here in the US, well then that means that this video is not for you. But thanks for watching, and give it a thumbs up anyway. Thank you very much. It's my Elvis voice. So tell me, have you thought about leaving the US? If you have, just drop a comment below, because I like to know, where would you go? Where are you thinking about going? Have you ever thought about it even just a little bit? Where would you go? And don't forget to check out my ebook giving you a full blueprint on how you can, if you want to, get the heck out of here. All right? I love you guys. Later, darlings.